The F-Zero series of racing games is one of the greatest of all time. It is a futuristic racing game franchise started by Nintendo where you are competing against many other cars to come in first. You're racing through various tracks that have names such as Mute City, Big Blue, Silence, and Port Town. The twist with the gameplay here is that you have an energy bar that empties if you hit a wall. Hit too many and bam, you're retired from the race. But you can refill your energy in certain zones throughout the track. In the first few games, boost and energy bars were treated as separate meters, but starting with F-Zero X for the Nintendo 64, the boost and energy bars became one. So, when you boost, you lose a little bit of energy, which increased the strategy quite a bit. So now that you're up to speed on the gameplay, let's take a quick look at the history of the series. F-Zero had its beginnings on the Super Nintendo as a launch title that demonstrated what the system was capable of using the Mode 7 technique. Basically, this technique allowed for the illusion of 3D environments. The Sega Genesis could not do this, so that's why it was impressive at the time. After realizing they had a success on their hands, Nintendo released versions of the game for the Nintendo 64, GameCube, 3 different games for the Game Boy Advance, and even an arcade game. But there's one game in the series that's been shrouded in mystery until recently. This game is F-Zero GP2 for the Super Nintendo. F-Zero GP2 isn't a ROM hack or a fan game. It's actually a game for the Satellaview, an accessory for the Super Nintendo that was only released in Japan. So what is this device, you ask? It was a subscription-based service that you signed up for that was active from April 1995 to March 2000. During certain times of the day, there were different broadcasts of content beamed to the device. This could include music, games, and even magazines. There were also SoundLink broadcasts, which included voice and music talking over a game you were playing. Since Nintendo was signed on to make games for this device, they actually produced quite a few exclusive games that were never released anywhere else, except for the lucky few who kept a cartridge of the games. What type of games were these, you ask? How does a pseudo-sequel to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past sound? Or what about a Super Mario All-Stars style remake of the original Legend of Zelda? Or what about Excite Bike with Mario in it? Oh, and there were also 2 little games called F-Zero and F-Zero GP2.
Welcome to Night League! 全銀河系の皆さん、宇宙で最も過酷でファンタスティックなグランプリが帰ってきました。Yeah! Terrific baby!
Let's start with F-Zero, or as they call it on the system, BS F-Zero. This was broadcast in late December 1996 to 1997 in 4 separate sections based on their difficulty in the original game: Knight, Queen, King, and Ace. This was also a SoundLink broadcast, which meant that there was an announcer giving you tips and tricks while playing the game with CD quality remixes of the music playing in the background.
フリープラクティスでは何回もマシンをチェンジできますから、いろいろなマシンで走ってみてください。
For each track, you got a certain amount of time to practice before going on to the race. Then, the race is only playable for a certain amount of time until everybody went on to the next one. What's interesting about this game is that the card designs are actually updated from the original version of the game. However, nothing else graphically has been changed. Even more is that each fifth track in each league is a track that has never been released before. Night League has the track Sandstorm, a completely new environment to the F-Zero series. Queen League has the track Sandstorm 2, King League has Silence 2, and Ace League has the track Big Blue 2. All these bonus tracks are what make up F-Zero GP2. These are all very tricky courses and are actually very fun to play and well designed. So is that it? Nope, it's not.
BS F-Zero Grand Prix 2!
BS F-Zero GP2 was actually a Soundlink broadcast as well as a regular broadcast in 1997. The Soundlink version used the same format as the original BS F-Zero with the timed free practices and timed races. However, there were 2 additional courses added to the mix. These were Forest 1 and Forest 2. These were pretty simple tracks, but it's interesting to see the lost history of F-Zero. The best part about this, though, is that instead of playing F-Zero remixes in the background, they're playing Van Halen and Led Zeppelin tracks. It's pretty funny. There was a second version of BS F-Zero GP2 released in 1997, which was a regular broadcast and included the regular game music. This was the 5 bonus tracks and did not include the forest tracks from the Soundlink version. You could only race on the Ace League and it had 3 difficulties. After beating the circuit, you could open up a practice mode to record your best time. This actually includes an interesting feature not found in the original game. This was the Ghost feature, similar to Super Mario Kart, where you could race against a ghost of your own record and try to beat it. As a result of this being a regular broadcast, this was eventually dumped into a ROM file and was made playable via emulation. This is because somebody saved their card which had their game on it, and that's the only way you can play this game today. So should you take some time and seek this game out? If you're a fan of the Super Nintendo F-Zero, I highly recommend it. It's a fun way to pass some time, and the tracks are designed really well. Also, nothing beats rocking out to some F-Zero tunes too, so that's a plus. If you're ever bored, give it a shot. It's an interesting look into the F-Zero sequel that could have been for the Super Nintendo. Until next time, I'm the Obscure Gamer, making the world of gaming a little bit clearer.
I'm Bucky. See you next time. Same time, same station. So long, bye-bye.